Focus on my brake lights. Ain't turning back. Now that I'm back on track, yeah. Take my word from it. Put a couple bands on it. And I don't plan on letting people turn me. No. You can say what you want. I'ma keep pressing on. I can't go pop that thing like I'm getting green right. Talking to my past life. Focus on my brake lights. Talking to my future. Talking to my past life.
Hello and welcome to Breaking the Silence. We are so glad that you are joining us here on the program. We have a great show in store for you. As we know, Breaking the Silence does not disappoint, and today we are not going to start. But if you are just now tuning in and you just happen to find this channel and this program, welcome. My name is Francisca.
I'm Nori.
And I'm Angelique.
And we are Breaking the Silence, your new favorite women's talk show, all right? You're definitely going to want to stay tuned throughout the whole show because we're going to have great contact, great conversation, great information, and all of the above. So what are we even talking about in today's show?
Who?
That's the question.
Yes.
So,
or to who are we going to be talking?
Well,
a special something.
A little bit of both. All right, so we're going to be getting into web wonders and whatnot. So we got a few little stories that is almost hard to believe.
I know. This one's going to be a good one.
So it's definitely going to be a good one. It's going to definitely bring in some conversation. But what we are so excited about is we have a special guest joining us there on the orange couch. Letrice Mason. She is the founder and CEO of her down there. Hello. We are so excited to be able to join her there on the couches. We will be joining her there shortly. So she's going to be talking about everything pertaining to women's health. It is so important for us to talk about this because it is very, very vital to our health to be able to take care of ourselves in the proper way. And if you are like many and you might have questions, you might not even have health care, so you don't really have the opportunity to be able to ask the questions that you need, you can actually send in your questions now ahead of time so that if we have time later on in the program, we can go ahead and ask her those questions for you. And don't be shy because maybe something that you're going through, something that you're dealing with, somebody else is also dealing with. So be the brave one for all the other ones out there and send in your questions and she would definitely answer them. All right? But we are so excited for this show, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
Real women, real talk. Breaking the Silence is where it all goes down. Let's connect and empower together.
What GMO crops are grown and sold in the U.S.? Well, there's corn, like me, soybeans, canola, sugar beets, and cotton. Typically, we're ingredients in certain foods. GMO alfalfa, corn, soybeans, canola, and cotton are used as animal food. And while you won't find many GMOs in the produce section, there are versions of GMO apple, summer squash, potato, and papaya in a few markets. Feed your mind with more GMO knowledge on FDA's website.
Breaking the silence can be difficult, but it is necessary. We must speak up and end the stigma surrounding domestic violence and trauma. Not only for women, but for all victims. It's time to break the silence. It's okay to not be okay. There's no shame in seeking help. We all need to come together and create a safe space for everyone to speak openly about their mental and physical well-being. Visit www.thehotline.org and text us at 1-888-312-4141 to find resources and support. Let's break the silence together.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Let's strive to grow together on Breaking the Silence.
All right, we see on social media and on the web so many stories, and we're like, is that even real?
I know.
So that is what we're going to be doing in this segment, Web Wonders and Whatnots. We're going to be looking at some videos that unfortunately are true.
Yeah.
But they're very hard to believe.
I know.
Yes, they are a little hard to believe. So you're wondering, what is it that I'm even talking about? Okay, so hear out the first one.
Okay.
A father captures a moment the son was swallowed by a humpback whale.
That is crazy. How are you swallowed by a humpback whale?
That was what I was asking, right? So Adrian Semenax was kayaking in the waters off of the Chilean Patagonia when the whale momentarily swallowed him.
Oh, I want to see the video.
My imagination goes crazy when we're in the ocean. This is all I need to see is this video. So let us go ahead and take a look at this video real quick.
Okay.
A father captured the moment his son was briefly swallowed by a humpback whale.
Hey! Ya, vente, vente. Tranquilo, agarra el bote, agárralo, tranquilo, agárralo.
Del Semencas caught the incredible encounter while on a hybrid trekking and paddling trip with his son Adrian off the Chilean Patagonia.
Cuando pongo la cámara, escucho como si reventara una ola fuerte detrás de mí. Y me pareció extraño que una ola reventara así. Y cuando volteo no veo a Adrián. No veo a Adrián ni a su packraft. Entonces en ese momento me preocupé.
Sentí un golpe que venía desde atrás, que me levantaba un poco. Pensé que podía ser una ola, pero era demasiado fuerte. Entonces cuando volteo siento en mi cara una textura como babosa. Alcanzo a ver colores como azul oscuro, blanco, algo que se aproxima desde atrás y que me cierra y me hunde. Y en ese momento pensé que ya no podía hacer nada, que ya iba a morir.
Como a los 3 segundos veo que sale disparado hacia la superficie y sale el packraft después de él. Y después veo una aleta o una parte de un cuerpo de algo que supuse que era una ballena. Ahí más bien me tranquilizó un poco porque salió Adrián, estaba consciente, me estaba hablando.
Tranquilo, agárrate de mi colita de atrás,
What in the Jonah was going on there? That is crazy and terrifying at the same. Listen, you would not catch me in the waters. I'm sorry.
I would be right.
That just terrified both of them.
I need to feel the ground.
No, but seriously, wow.
that is crazy.
Imagine.
The panic, the fear, the just everything.
Like what was going through his mind?
Right. Were you even thinking? You weren't even thinking. It's like,
you don't even have time to think
no,
of that.
No, you don't. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. But luckily, the whale spit him back out, and he's safe and sound.
That's why you got to be in big boats.
Yes, at all times.
Listen,
that even there in the deep water.
That would have been my last time in the water. Even if you paid me, I would not. You would not catch me in the water. No, not at all. That's scary. That's
worst time. Yeah.
But I'm glad he's okay. Yeah. But let us get into our next one. Yes. Our next web wonder and whatnot. So this one here, a rare deep sea fish known as the Black Sea Devil captured on camera. That right there already looks funny. But let us see it. Let us see it, and we'll be right back.
A team of marine biologists in Tenerife have caught on video a rare black devilfish for the first time in daylight on the ocean's surface and in this region. The peculiar deep-sea creature, which has previously inspired the creators of 2003 Disney cartoon movie Finding Nemo for a sinister fish character, was spotted swimming close to sea surface at a distance of only 2 kilometers from the shore on January 26th, in a most unexpected sighting for scientists. The species, also known as abyssal or humpback anglerfish or Melanocetus johnsonii, is usually found at depths of 200 to 2,000 meters, where it survives thanks to its bioluminescence that lures its prey. Until now, any footage or images of the black devilfish have been limited to larvae, deceased specimens, or submarine images from other deep-sea environments far from this region. Bruce Robison of California Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute recorded a black sea devil at 600 meters during an exploration of the Monterey Canyon via remote-operated diving vehicle in 2014. The new and unique observation was made accidentally by local NGO Condrick Tenerife upon their return to shore from a shark study expedition.
Need I say more? Need I say more why you should stay out the water?
Yeah. I mean, for me, this
Look
one
at
didn't.
its teeth.
Yeah, well, the sea has a lot of creatures and underwater,
Yes,
so
but
this one didn't really faze me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen
That's
this
crazy.
picture
Yeah, I've seen it.
before.
I've
but
seen
it's
some
still,
pictures.
It's still a sight to be
Yeah.
seen. Could you imagine if you're in that water and you happen to
Imagine, and
listen.
it's
See
that
only
thing coming in your direction?
You
It's
will
only
learn how
being
to swim
seen
with
like
the quickness if you didn't
underwater.
know.
So
That is
My
crazy.
feet wouldn't even touch the water. I'd be out of there so quick.
no water.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I'd be
that's,
running on air. I'd be out of there.
that is
Yeah.
definitely a crazy one.
Yes,
But
not as crazy as
let's
the
stay
next
out
one.
of the water. Let's stay out of the water with this one. Our next web wonder is not about waters, okay? We're getting over the waters. So this next one is a teen finding out the anonymous internet bully. And guess who is actually her mom?
That is crazy.
And this is for a year. She was harassed for a year. I don't know what the reason
That's
was,
madness.
but yeah, but let's take a look and then we'll have
Okay.
some like
All right.
heated ones. Okay.
With a bizarre case of a mother accused of cyber stalking her own daughter. The Michigan woman is now facing felony charges, and Trevor Alt is here with more. Trevor, the motive is still a mystery this morning.
It is, Cecilia. There's no confirmed motive, but there are some theories being floated out by prosecutors, including one that's saying this is something like cyber Munchausen's by proxy, where essentially they're making their child feel bad so that the child comes to them for comfort. But whatever the cause, these allegations are extensive and they are incredibly alarming.
Even when we realized that it wasn't a kid, we weren't expecting that it would be a parent.
This morning, a startling story out of Michigan. Prosecutors accusing a mother of catfishing and harassing her own daughter. Authorities allege Kendra Licari secretly sent her daughter and daughter's boyfriend thousands of hateful texts and messages for months.
We had tens of thousands of text messages, and whether they were messages that were just to her daughter or some of her daughter's friends, and the digital footprint was just insane.
According to prosecutors, Licari's daughter first received these messages in early 2021, with Licari and the daughter's boyfriend's parents then reporting it to officials at their school, who later referred the situation to law enforcement. But the messages allegedly continued, and investigators claim this spring they discovered Licari was the source when they traced the messages back to her.
When they informed us later in the spring that they were suspecting that it possibly was her, it shocked all of us. I think everybody involved.
Authorities allege Licari used software to hide the origin of the messages, using several numbers and area codes, even allegedly trying to make it look like her daughter's classmates were behind it all.
In doing so, it would shield her and kind of cloak her identity or her digital identity. But eventually we were able to see that her IP address was popping in and out right before and right after these messages were going through.
Licari is facing 5 charges, including stalking a minor and obstruction of justice. She was released on $5,000 bond. Police documents show when confronted with the evidence, she admitted the messages came from her. She and her attorney said they have no comment at this time.
That is crazy.
It is.
That is crazy.
I don't know.
But you know what was interesting to me when he mentioned that it Munchausen.
Yes.
Then that right there was like, okay, well, if she has that, well, that'll be understandable why she did. But to go to that extent of making it seem like it was like the friends and for a whole year, your own child, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The things that we see nowadays going on.
And
that one was
how
shocking
the
for me.
daughter felt when she found out that that was her mom doing that the whole entire time.
Exactly.
The
It's like
betrayal and the trauma
the trust,
that would come with
all of that broken.
That's terrible.
That is
terrible.
crazy.
Because she was already devastated receiving all those hateful messages and receiving it from a close family member, her mom at that point.
Hate messages,
Hate messages, So
that is crazy. So that goes to show we just need to be
didn't
careful.
disappoint. We definitely told you these would be unbelievable. And they are unbelievable, but they are also real.
Yes,
right?
They are.
All right, so that is it for this segment. I hope it might have surprised you. If there's something that you would like us to share in the segment, we would love to hear from you, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will be joined with Letrice Mason here on the couches. So stay tuned.
All right.
Laugh, learn, and love with Breaking the Silence. We'll be right back.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Breaking the silence. Your story matters. Your voice deserves to be heard. Join the conversation.
All right, welcome back to Breaking the Silence. As you see, we have somebody here on the couches joining us. Letrice Mason, thank you so much. You are the founder and CEO of Her Down There, and you wear so many hats.
Oh, yes.
But before we get into how many hats you wear and how you're able to manage all of it, we like to ask our guests the question of the day to get your responses. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so this is our question of the day. What childhood show would you like to see rebooted?
Well, I'm probably going to age myself, but Lamb Chops Play Along.
Oh, Air 5 girl! Yes! Hey, it's Lamb Chops Play Along.
Such a good show.
Yes, it really was. It really was. Okay. All right.
Thank you for answering. And this question of the day is for our viewers out there as well, so you can play along with us and send in your responses. You can scan our QR code, and that will take you to our Instagram page at BreakingTheSilence_talk show, where you can send in your responses. We love to get your responses, so send them in. But as we do tell you on the program, if you don't want your answers read online, it's no problem. We will not read it on air. Just say, hey, I don't want my response read on air, and it will be no problem. Or you can remain anonymous if you would prefer. All right? So now let us get into it. So we were saying that you wear multiple hats. You are a nurse practitioner, an entrepreneur, an educator.
Yes.
But how did you find your calling in women's health?
I think a big part of it was that a lot of women, especially women of color, don't get recognized, they don't get listened to. And when I worked at a clinic as a nurse, I really saw that I was the one advocating for women. And I felt like the only way I'd be able to do that is if maybe I went off on my own and developed a place where, for where women can come and feel comfortable.
Okay. So I love the name, Her
Thank
Down
you.
There. That name has
You'll never forget it.
Like I was never ever forget the name. So how is it that you came across the name?
Honestly, there were so many more before we got to this, but you go on and you see that all these things are taken, and I was just thinking about like what do I call her? Like, or when I'm talking about her, what do I say? So I was like, let's see if somebody took that name, and magically it wasn't.
That is so specific. There's no questioning what it is about. So talking about her down there, there's so many misconceptions when it comes to women's health, reproductive, all of those things. And it's really sad because so many people are being misled by people who are being sincere and really thinking they're giving out the correct information. So what are some common myths that you have found that a lot of people are believing as true? Some misconceptions that you can share with us?
I would probably say PCOS is a big one, and a lot of people think that the only thing that you can do is take birth control, or they think that you can't have children, that you're infertile. I feel like as much as social media is the new thing, right? I feel like I'm kind of trying to debunk a lot of things that other people are saying because there's so much information out there. But I would say PCOS is probably the biggest thing that I have to redirect a patient and tell them what's really going on.
Okay, so you opened that door for PCOS, so we're definitely going to dive into it a little bit. Now, I want you to educate us, those who might not know like the ins and outs when it comes to PCOS. How does it come about? Is it something that's genetic, or because there's a lot of people, and I've also known people who have it and the struggles that they go through. Like I know this person that was like, I haven't gotten my period in a long time, and then when they finally do, it extends for a long time. So educate us a little bit on PCOS.
Okay, so we really don't know exactly if it's a genetic thing, if it's I've been on birth control for so long and this is how it happens. We do know that it starts in your childbearing age, and a lot of times you're overweight or can't lose weight, you have irregular periods, you have pelvic pain, sometimes you have pain with intercourse, and then it's difficult for you to get pregnant. So it can be daunting. A lot of times the only thing that people ever know is to get on birth control, and we have a PCOS program that helps us do some things and give you some other options to make you really realize that it's not just about birth control. That's usually not my first go-to, to be honest with you. It's really low on the totem pole for me, but definitely we have some options for people.
Awesome.
You've already given us so much information for now, but also you're not only a CEO, a nurse practitioner, but you're also a preceptor in nursing.
I am.
So how's that experience?
It's so fun.
How do you inspire the next generation who are interested in women's health?
I honestly decided to do precepting because when I was being precepted in school, the professors were not nice, and I did not get a chance to learn, essentially. I was in an environment where it was hard to learn from a person who wasn't nice to you. So I told myself as soon as I graduated, I was going to start precepting, and I wanted to make it fun and make sure that they actually learn. And I will say most of the time I turned my students who never thought that they would like women's health, now they're like, wait a minute, I think I kind of like this. Yeah, but it's so fun because I see myself and them stumbling over stuff and like how I was whenever I was in school. So it's actually a very fun and fulfilling thing to do.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So you have your location. Getting started, you're an entrepreneur, you have your location. Getting started, how was it for you? To incorporate being an entrepreneur, but also being a nurse practitioner at the same time. How did you juggle that? Because that looks like it's a big shoe to fill. You know what I mean? Because when you get started, when you want to start your own business, but at the same time, you still need that income. You still need, you need financial means in order to start up that business, to get equipment and all of these things. How were you able to manage to juggle all of that?
You're right. It was definitely difficult, more difficult than I anticipated it to be, because there wasn't anyone else that I could follow that was doing it. But I started out in the pandemic. I started out telemedicine first, and I was still working full time, but I was doing this business part time, after hours, on weekends, holidays. And then, you know, one day you just wake up and you're like, I'm just gonna jump out and do it, and here we are.
Okay.
But it was tough. It's still tough. Every day is still tough. Yeah.
Okay.
But I enjoy it.
You mentioned holiday just now, and I was on your page recently. How was President's Day for you?
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you one thing about being an entrepreneur. You forget about holidays. And you forget to close the schedule.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was going to be laying in my bed with everybody else, and no, booked because people are off.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, I can't take PTO, so let me go. We were booked the entire day.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
exhausted by this. But you know what?
Imagine.
I'm grateful because the people who can't come on other days.
Right.
And it, you know, I have great patience, so it wasn't too bad.
Awesome.
But you know, the good thing about that is you're very flexible.
Yes.
Because some of the clinics
are not.
They are not. Like,
No.
you know, no, this is the hours. But because you see the care that you need to give to this, that, you know, they are busy, they're career women, and the only days, like, unfortunately, holidays. So I'm glad that you're opening your clinic.
During the time I wasn't, but you know, afterwards I'm like, it makes sense.
And busy women, they can definitely appreciate that. They're like, she understands our struggle. She gets it over. So you have an ebook out, is that right? Tell us about this ebook.
So it's really for either my students or people who just want to start their own practice. It's kind of like all the stuff that I did and I fumbled on and I messed up and spent too much money on, so that they don't have to do the same thing if they want to start their own practice. I do mentorships along with it, and I also do like master classes, and I have students that come from all over and they just come to clinic with me and, you know, pay attention so that they can open their own clinic.
That's amazing. So where can they find this ebook?
This is on my website, thevaginamp.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right. Definitely go and check it out. But we asked our viewers to be able to send in a couple of questions, and we already have a question.
Oh wow,
Are you
that's
ready
great.
to
I'm
answer?
ready.
All right. So let us look at our first question. It says, I'm in my 30s and starting to think about family planning. What are some key things I should discuss with my healthcare provider?
Okay. First thing, I would get a set of labs. Get your cholesterol checked, get your A1C, which tells you whether you're diabetic or not. I would go over exercise and your food, because a lot of that plays a part in trying to get pregnant, especially after 30 years old, because they want to label us as a geriatric vagina. So you want to make sure that everything is working like it's supposed to. An ultrasound, get all your testing done so you know that you were working with some good, you know, a good little house for the baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. So we do have another question from another viewer. And this question goes as follows. How can I know if my gut is healthy? What are the ways I can improve my gut health? And are there specific foods that are harmful or good for my gut health?
Okay. So some ways, especially in women's health, that you'll know you don't have a great gut is if you get bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections more often or recurrent than someone else.
Okay.
Some foods that you should stay away from. Dairy is not always your friend. Sweets, I know everybody wants a little sweet treat, but that's not always your friend either. And there are tests that you can get done that can check your gut and tell you exactly what supplements and medications that you should take.
Okay. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball to you. Are you ready?
Curveball?
A little bit of a curveball. It just jumped into my mind. So we have a lot of viewers that watch our program, and we do have some viewers who are incarcerated that watch our program. And so when you're talking about gut health and like watching what you're eating to be able to take care of that in the prison system, you don't always get the best kind of foods, the most healthiest foods. So what could they do in that situation to make sure that they're eating properly to be able to take care of their gut health and overall taking care of their female parts to be
Well, I actually have a question before I answer that. Are they able to choose like medications? Like, because probiotics are amazing as well. Okay. But I'm not sure how it would work in the system, but if they could stay away from dairy for sure. Okay. So maybe you're picking an almond milk over a cow's milk, or the yogurt that is made with coconut milk versus things like that. And of course, like the sweets for sure. If maybe whatever dessert that they get for that day, maybe they kind of stay away from that dessert. Yeah.
Just to piggyback on that, because you mentioned probiotics.
Yes.
So would you recommend probiotic like the actual like pill, or would you recommend it like from the actual food, like food and drink?
Food is always going to be the best thing to do because it's the most natural source, but I know that everyone can't always get it from their food, so a pill, it works just as great.
Just as great. Okay. Now, still on probiotic.
We're invested in this,
right? But still on probiotic, right? So, I heard two people debating about probiotics. And there's, I guess, different types of probiotics. There are people who take probiotics overall for overall health, but then there's the probiotics specifically for her down there.
Yes.
So if you choose to opt out of probiotics for her down there, is it okay? Like, would you still get the same, I guess, benefits from just taking an overall regular probiotic? Yeah?
Yes, you definitely would. So essentially what it's doing is it's promoting good gut health and good bacteria in your body. I think a lot of people think they don't want any bacteria at all, but you want the good bacteria.
Okay.
So that, because the same flora that's in your stomach is in your vagina.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that flora is good, which is where the food comes in. So you make sure it's being processed correctly. You're not getting mucus or bacteria that you don't want. So that's where the probiotic comes in.
Okay, good. Because, I see some people, they're spending money on just the regular overall probiotic and then probiotic just for like her. Okay. All right.
Save your money.
Yeah.
See? We like that, right? All right, Letrice, so we're going to have to take a quick break, but you're going to stay tuned. You're going to stay with us,
Absolutely.
right? All right, thank you so much. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back.
Guys, if you don't know if you have PCOS, here are 10 things that can tell you that maybe you do and you should get your blood tested. The first thing is irregular periods. The second thing, hair on your chin, acne, etc. Number 3 is having ovarian cysts. Number 4, weight gain. Number 5, sugar cravings or insulin resistance. 6 is skin changes, hyperpigmentation, dark spots on your body. Number 7, fertility issues or difficulty getting pregnant. Number 8, mood swings or mood changes. Number 9, pelvic pain. And number 10, sleep disturbances, insomnia, issues with sleeping. If you have any of these symptoms, this is a perfect reason for you to go to your general practitioner, for you to go to your OBGYN or an endocrinologist to get your levels checked. And when I say levels checked, I'm talking more specifically about your hormones, because that's what's going to tell you whether you have PCOS or not. The other thing that you can do is get an ultrasound to see if you have cysts on your ovaries. That can also tell you whether you have PCOS or not. Hope this helps.
Empowered women, empowering conversations. Stay with us on Breaking the Silence as we inspire and uplift each other.
Are you feeling weak and worn down by life? The Word of God says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." Call now, 888-332-4141. People of faith are standing by, ready to pray for and encourage you. You were never meant to carry your burdens alone.
Breaking the Silence is back. Let's keep the conversation going.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep the conversation here with Letrice. So We were talking on the break about the Depo shot.
Yes.
And the Depo shot has been all over the news lately. There's actually a lawsuit that is going on right now, which is so sad because the Depo shot was something that was very, very popular for a long time. A lot of people were on that shot. So can you give us your insight onto that without getting like too technical, the legal side of things, but to just give your insight on what is going on with this lawsuit?
So apparently, anyone who was taking the Depo and it was more over 5 years, so the people who were doing it for less amount of years aren't as susceptible, but people who were taking it for 5 years or more were more susceptible to meningiomas, which is just brain tumors. And so that's what people are essentially suing for that purpose. So some of the side effects would be headaches or dizziness, sometimes vision changes as well. But the thing is, whenever they, created Depo, you weren't supposed to be on it for more than 2 years anyway. So, but a lot of doctors were, continuing to use it. And when it came out, it's the new thing and everybody's like, oh, I get to skip my period, or, I don't have to do anything every 3 months, it's a shot. But if today, even without the lawsuit, it's the lowest one on the totem pole for birth control for me. One, if you're going to gain weight on one method, that's probably the method that you're going to gain weight on. And the number one side effect is irregular bleeding. It takes 12 months for it to get out of your system. So it's like, you could have these side effects for up to a year. So it's just, I can't control it enough. So it's not my first choice.
I knew somebody who was taking that for a very, very long time. And that the convenience of not having a menstrual period was definitely a selling point. Because they were like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about having my period. But then it's like the period never came back as it usually did. Because a lot of the times when you're younger, people get on birth control to help with their cramps and their menstruation, and just to kind of make it more like you can know when your period is going to be coming and less cramping. But then there's so many side effects that you're not even aware of. And unfortunately, weight gain
that's crazy.
It's definitely one of them.
That is crazy.
But I think it's also because, as you mentioned, it's supposed to be only for 2 years. You're not supposed to be more than that. So, it's always in moderation.
Like, do what the rules say.
But no,
they're there
we
for
always
a
try to
reason.
push the limit. Okay. Well, I have a next question for you. Hormone disruptors. Is it really, hormone disruptors, we find them in a lot of things nowadays. We find them in cosmetics, we find them in food packagings, we find it in many different things. Does it really, though, make like a difference? And if it does, what can we do? Because, you find it in a lot of stuff that we use on a daily basis.
I would say as a whole, it's difficult to maybe even live in the U.S. because we don't have the best access to food, and like you said, there's so much stuff in cosmetic. You don't even, things are hidden everywhere. I usually tell patients to try to eat as clean as possible, things that you knew that grew from the ground, and grain-fed meats, and not, because you go and see those chickens and they're like massive because they've been pumped full of estrogen or whatever to get them on the shelves faster. So it's really eat as much from the ground, stay as clean in your eating, and then when it comes to cosmetics, try to do things that don't have a lot of parabens in them, or even a lot of fragrance. When it comes to our soaps and stuff that we use for her down there, you want to stay away from things that have a lot of fragrances in them as well, down to your detergent, your dryer sheets, your softener, like everything.
Wow. That's crazy.
Everything.
Oh my goodness.
Now let's talk about menopause.
Fun.
Life transition for women.
Something we all look forward to.
We love it, excited for it. But what are the most common concerns and how to manage those symptoms?
Probably hot flashes and night sweats, brain fog. You go into a room and what did I come in here for? Their bone density or their muscle mass is reduced. But I would say probably the most is weight gain and hot flashes. Those are probably the two. But menopause is more so the older age of PCOS. They're both hormonal imbalances and they get treated very similarly. So when it comes to menopause, we do something called HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, but there are also organic ways to treat some of these things as well, and some non-traditional ways, like, believe it or not, Ozempic and Mounjaro, the shots that everyone's taking for weight loss, that it helps with your hormones more than anything else than just the weight loss.
All right. Now, is there any specific signs, symptoms, something that's gonna let me know
it's time
that that it's time, because I want to be ready.
I would say the two things would be your period starts to change. It doesn't mean it gets worse or better, it just changes. Meaning you can have more periods in a month, you can spot in between, you can skip a month or two, you can, any kind of change in your period is your first
going
thing.
haywire.
Yeah. And then I would say night sweats over hot flashes during the day, but night sweats, I feel like when they happen infrequently, we don't pay attention to them. Maybe it only happens once a week or once a month. That's like the sign things are starting to, knocking on that door.
Is there such a thing as early menopause?
Yes, it's called perimenopause or premenopause, and a lot of us are going earlier than like our parents. So menopause average age is about 52, and usually maybe like 45 to 52 is when you're going through early menopause or perimenopause. But now I have patients in their 30s that are experiencing, and I think again it has a lot to do with our foods and things like that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So are there like tests and stuff that you can do in order to find out if you, because I've known a few people that were younger and felt like they went through menopause or they're going through menopause. But I'm like, you're so young. How is that even possible? How could you be going through menopause? But they're like, I have all the signs and symptoms, but they just don't know, like, how am I supposed to find out if this is really the case?
Well, there's a hormonal test that we do. So you can come in and get your blood tested to see if that's what's going on with you. It's easier than it used to be years ago. We figured out how to get to it faster.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so let us shift gear a little bit. You know, here on the show, we're always talking about self-care.
Yes.
What does Letrice do for Letrice when she needs to wind down, when she needs a break, I love this video here. I saw this video. I was like, no, she didn't. So what do you do when it comes to self-care?
I am a homebody. I don't think a lot of people see me on Instagram, so they think I'm an extrovert, and I am a big introvert, to be honest with you. I like to be in my house. I like to watch a good Netflix show, get me a nice meal, maybe a little glass of wine, and maybe a massage or something like that. That's where I'm very low key. Yes.
All right, awesome. Oh my goodness. Now, for those young ladies, our wonderful, beautiful young Black ladies that want to enter into entrepreneurship and start their own business, they want to get into healthcare, they love what they do, they love helping out, they love giving that information that they themselves perhaps had to struggle, to get, but now they just want to give freely. What advice would you have for them, like as far as like where to begin, how to start, what are some do's and don'ts that are really crucial and essential for them?
I would say first make sure you have all your licensing so you can actually do what you're wanting to do, and get your LLC so you can get a nice name, something cute that people are going to remember. And then I would say continue to work until you feel confident to start your own whatever it is. Because starting from the beginning and not having it's tough out here. And I think one of the bigger reasons why I'm successful is because I worked both at the same time. I built up my clientele and I quit my job when I had enough clients to support what I had moving forward.
Interesting.
That's good. That's good. What is one thing you would say that you are most passionate about when it comes to women's health?
Probably when patients leave me a review and they say something like, she actually listened to me. It warms my heart because, gosh, that means you went somewhere and a bunch of people weren't listening to you. And I didn't do anything special. I just sat there and I talked to you like a normal person. So it's really, it just makes me feel, I'm proud to know that that's what I'm giving back to the patients.
Awesome. I love that. I love that.
And you hear that a lot from patients that I went to this clinic and this hospital, whatever. But aside from her down there, because I know you give reliable source of information about reproductive health, are there other reliable information or source that our viewers can go to?
So I usually will tell patients to go to ACOG, which is just kind of our organization for OBGYNs, because you can get a lot of information from there. I know a lot of my patients go to TikTok, and TikTok does have some good information, but it's like hard to decipher what's good and what's not. I usually have patients that will go to TikTok and then they come back to me and say, hey, I saw this on TikTok, is this true? So I would say make sure you're actually speaking to your provider about things that you see. They are really actually very good sources. You just really have to talk to them. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, and I appreciate you doing all of your research and caring so much, because that was something that we found last time when we had your coworker with us, right?
Yeah.
It's that y'all really do care, and unfortunately we don't see enough of that in this kind of field. It's like people just want to shove medicine or birth control. It's like, this is the solution, just take this medication and you're going to be fine, and just go on to the next one. So to be able to find somebody who really does care and value like the people that come to see them and treat them as though they're family, it really does come across. And so I just would like to say thank you among all the women that come and visit you, because I know that they really do value and appreciate it. And for our viewers who see you and say, oh, I need to go visit that place. I need to go there and
have a good time. We're a good time.
Definitely give them your information on where they can find you, where they can follow you, your business, and everything that you are doing in this field.
Well, I try to make it simple. It's her down there on Instagram, on TikTok, on everywhere that it's there. Then herdownthere.com, herdownthere@gmail, and we are 1622 West Alabama in Montrose.
Okay.
Come visit us.
Yes, definitely.
Not far from the studios.
Not far at all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the program.
Having me.
It was such a pleasure to have you here, and I know that our viewers are definitely going to have to go and check you out and everything that you are doing. So thank you so much. But now it is time to switch gears. So I hope you already sent in your responses to our question of the day, because we're going to be reading some of our comments already when we come back. All right, so let's get into our question of the day. And if you are just joining us and you didn't get the question of the day, no problem, we got you covered. Let us see the question of the day. What childhood show would you like to see rebooted? So that is our question of the day. And we already have some responses, so let us take a look at our first one from Simona. All I want for 2025 is a new Fairly Odd Parents show.
Okay.
Fairly Odd Parents show. Okay.
Nice. I watched it a little bit.
Hopefully you get it. All right. Let's see our next one.
We do have our next comment, which is from Little Louise. Teen Summit was practically all I watched as a kid. I wouldn't mind seeing a reboot of that. Teen Summit, I don't really remember that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell to me, but all right.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, then
you're sending your comment, girl.
Yes.
All right.
Let's
we
see
have our next one coming from
next comment.
Jillian. Where is my Punky Brewster remake? With everything getting a reboot, I feel a little left out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Punky Brewster. She was so cool.
Oh my goodness.
All of her crazy outfits.
I know.
That was a good show. They don't make TV shows like that.
They really don't. Not at all.
So what about you, Angela? You gonna be
as you know, this is
all
all the way from the islands of the Philippines. But I'm still gonna say it. It's Going Bulilit. I think I mentioned it before. It's like a childhood TV show that I love.
What is it called?
Going Bulilit.
Going Bulilit.
Yes.
Bulilit. All right.
I've
never seen that. But me? Yes. Oh, goodness. Listen, don't judge, okay? And don't try to guess my age either. But I have two that came to mind. One will be Thundercats and the other one will be Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon.
Yes, Thundercats.
Oh, wow.
Sailor Moon.
I don't know about that one, but Thundercats,
What about
I know.
Sailor Moon, I know.
I have a couple.
Okay, I'm ready to
These,
hear
I mean,
it.
I grew up on these.
Okay.
You know, and
Go ahead.
I was young.
Don't make
just
it
a
too
few
obvious.
Years ago. Few years ago.
All right.
The Saved by the Bell, the original cast.
Okay.
Not the new cast.
Yeah.
Original cast.
Okay.
Not Steve Urkel. What is his name?
That's Family Matters.
The other guy.
I don't know.
I forgot his name. Anyways, he is the same thing as Steve Urkel. He was a funny guy on Saved by the Bell and Full House, original cast.
Yes.
Because those were fun, just like they were funny. And Tim the Toolman Taylor, that was another one. Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, yes.
Yeah, that was funny. Every time he'd be working on his car and doing all this nonsense.
Yeah.
But those were just like good old home, like fun TV shows that you could enjoy, you could relate to, but that didn't have any other kind of motive behind it. So I think we should bring back some of the old kind of
for sure. 100%. Tom and Jerry.
Yes,
that's
Tom and
definitely
Jerry.
another one. So yeah, there's definitely good ones out there.
There are a lot of oldies but goodies.
Time for a reboot.
Yeah, I know,
Yes,
right?
let us reboot. All right, but that's the segment for our question of the day. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back.
Let's talk about something important. Recent news in 2024 has raised concerns about the Depo-Provera birth control shot and its potential links to brain tumors, specifically meningiomas. If you or someone that you know have used the Depo-Provera, this is information you don't want to miss. As you know, Depo-Provera is a birth control injection that has been widely used for decades. While it's effective at preventing pregnancy, new studies have found that long-term use, specifically over 5 years, increase the risk of these meningiomas. These are usually non-cancerous brain tumors, but they can still cause serious health issues. Symptoms include headache, changes in vision, memory issues, and even seizures. If you have experienced any of these and have a history of using Depo-Provera, it's time to talk to your provider. Lawsuits have been filed with Pfizer, helping raise awareness and giving affected individuals a chance for justice. So what can you do? First, contact your provider if you have symptoms. Second, if you believe that you are affected, reach out to a legal professional to know your options. Knowledge is power, and your health matters.
Stronger together. Breaking the Silence is your community for support and inspiration.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
And welcome back to Breaking the Silence. We had a great show today. We got so much great information and conversation with Letrice. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. She is. Go visit her at her down there. She is definitely the one you're going to want to talk to get all the correct information. And she's really going to take time to just sit down and talk with you, make sure you have the proper information. You can just tell by the way that she talks how much she really cares. She's giving back to those who are coming up, who also want to be in this field, who want to be able to take care of other women. So it's so important that we have somebody in the field that really, really does care. So go and follow her and go to her company.
Because there's nothing better than having someone who can relate to you, and they're definitely going to give you the ins and outs and give you, you know, healthy options as opposed to just go straight ahead and just shoving down medication or any of these things. And a lot of people, they find themselves in that certain situation. So to have someone to really sit down and break it down to you and help you understand and find good, positive alternatives for you, I mean, listen, that's priceless.
And make it comfortable, you know, instead of terrifying you, hey, if you take this or that, you know, make you comfortable and actually inform you of what you needed to know.
And that is never an easy conversation to have.
It really
You
isn't.
walk into the office with somebody you don't really know and then have to talk about everything that is going on with her down there and what you need to know, your ins and outs. So you want to be able to have somebody who makes you feel comfortable.
Exactly.
So Letrice Mason, the founder and CEO of Her down there, definitely go and check her out. Thank you once again for joining us here on the program, but we cannot forget about Kings.
There you go.
Kings airing every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we have our faithful recaps, which are Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you definitely do not want to miss that series. Watch it with your family, watch it with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
I'm gone, so focus on my red lights.